Many thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. Nigeria's Minister of State for Labour, Employment and Productivity, Festus Keyamo, has clashed with members of the National Assembly over the National Directorate of Employment Recruitment exercise. Trouble started when the Director General of the NDE, Natsiru Ladan, could not defend the 52 billion naira budgeted for the recruitment of 774,000 Nigerians under the NDE. Keyamo, on his part, told the lawmakers that his ministry was asked to supervise the recruitment by President Muhammadu Buhari, but the federal lawmakers disagreed with him. The minister had earlier accused unnamed politicians of harassing him over the public works program meant to create 774,000 unskilled jobs. Another member of the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State, Olushola Oke, has formally declared his intention to contest the forthcoming governorship election in the state. Oke today submitted his nomination and expression of interest forms at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja. Speaking after submitting the forms, the APC member said bad leadership and anti-party activities made the party lose 2 senatorial seats in the 2019 election. He will now face the state governor Rotimi Akeredolu and other aspirants in the July 20th primary election. The Ondo governorship election will hold on October 10th, 2020. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has dismissed the suit filed by a former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, challenging his suspension from the party. A 3-man panel of the judges, presided over by Justice Ukechukwu Oyenimenam, unanimously dismissed the appeal on Tuesday at the request of the former APC national chairman. At the resumed hearing of the suit, the counsel representing the former chairman informed the court of his client's decision to withdraw the suit, which originally sought a stay of execution on the judgment of the court affirming his suspension. Oshiomhole had approached the court seeking to challenge his suspension from the party by officials of his ward in Edo State. Justice Ijoma Ojukwu of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by a former Kogi West Senator, Dino Melaye, challenging some provisions of the controversial Control of Infectious Diseases Bill 2020. At the Tuesday hearing, Justice Ojukwu held that the issue raised in the suit was not justiciable, as the bill could not be a subject of litigation until it is signed into law. On May 5, 2020, Melaye had filed the suit urging the court to delete sections of the bill which empowers the Director General of the NCDC to compel anyone to take medical examination or treatment and also collect the blood sample of such persons in the case of a public health emergency. Let's take a break here and we'll be right back with more stories.
Hello, I'm Dr. Taufik Adeyemi, consultant orthopedic spine surgeon at National Orthopedic Hospital, Gobi, Lagos. I'm here on the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideway curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, a hump in the back, and even pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality x-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2-week free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
The National Union of Road Transport Workers has asked the federal government to subsidize operation costs for motorists. Acting General Secretary of the Union, Kabiru Yao, who made the call, said the guidelines outlined by the government for the resumption of operations require operators to carry fewer passengers on each trip, thereby reducing their income. According to him, drivers will now carry only 9 or 10 passengers instead of the usual 18 passengers. Yao stressed that if the government fails to subsidize the operation cost, the union might be forced to increase the transport fares. The federal government on Monday lifted the ban on interstate travel, restricting it to after curfew hours. The Oyo State government has discharged 180 COVID-19 patients after 2 consecutive negative results. Governor Seyi Makinde, who announced the new recoveries, said the number of COVID-19 cases managed and discharged in Oyo State has now risen to 688. He however said the state recorded 66 new cases to push the total confirmed cases so far to 1,372. Makinde also revealed that 1 coronavirus-associated death was recorded on Monday, bringing the total COVID-19 death toll in Oyo to 12. Elsewhere, the Kogi state government says it has partnered with the United States Center for Disease Control, CDC, to set up a reference molecular laboratory COVID-19 test. The state's Commissioner for Health, Saka Haruna, said the laboratory will be used to attend to residents with symptoms related to COVID-19. He added that Kogi has established the Confluence Center for Infectious Diseases in Kogi and in Lokoja, the state capital, saying the manpower has been deployed in the facilities. The laboratory was set up amid the state's insistence that it has no case of COVID-19, despite the Nigeria Center for Disease Control announcing 3 cases in Kogi State. This comes also 24 hours after Nasir Ajana, the state's chief judge, died at the COVID-19 isolation center in Gwagwalada, Abuja. Nigeria currently has 25,133 confirmed COVID-19 cases, with 573 deaths and 9,402 persons discharged. The World Health Organization says the COVID-19 pandemic is not even close to being over, as over 10.4 million confirmed cases and more than 508,000 deaths were recorded due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Director General of the health body, Tedros Ghebreyesus, speaking at a virtual press briefing in Geneva, said, despite the measures adopted to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, it has continued to worsen. He, however, urged the world leaders not to lose hope, adding that the world must continue to work together to win the fight against COVID-19.
The critical question that all countries will face in the coming months is how to live with this virus. That is the new normal. Many countries have implemented unprecedented measures to suppress transmission and save lives. These measures have been successful in slowing the spread of the virus, but they have not completely stopped it. Some countries are now experiencing a resurgence of cases as they start to reopen their economies and societies. Most people remain susceptible. The virus still has a lot of room to move. We all want this to be over. We all want to get on with our lives. But the hard reality is, this is not even close to being over. Although many countries have made some progress, globally, the pandemic is actually speeding up. We're all in this together, and we're all in this for the long haul. We will need even greater stores of resilience, patience, humility, and generosity in the months ahead. We have already lost so much, but we cannot lose hope.
President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan and Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila have visited the presidential villa in Abuja as part of efforts to resolve issues surrounding planned hike in electricity tariff in the country. The 2 National Assembly leaders first met separately with President Muhammadu Buhari on the issue before meeting again with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. At the end of the meeting with Osinbajo, they told State House correspondents that the earlier plan by the distribution companies to hike tariff from July 1st was untimely. This is coming as an official of the NERC revealed that the body has suspended plans to hike electricity tariff. South Africa's economy has shrunk by 2% in the first quarter of 2020. According to official statistics, this is the country's third consecutive quarterly decline. Stats SA said mining and manufacturing were the biggest drags on overall economic activity, with the mining and quarrying sectors shrinking by 21.5%. The manufacturing industry, on the other hand, contracted by 8.5%. Overall, the economy is projected to shrink by 7.2% in 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the deepest slump in 90 years. And in sports, Brooklyn Nets center DeAndre Jordan and teammate Spencer Dinwiddie might not play again this season after both players tested positive for the COVID-19 on Monday. The NBA is planning to go ahead with its restart plans at Disney World in Orlando on July 30th, despite Florida battling a surge in the COVID-19 cases in the past few days. Guard Dinwiddie told journalists that he had experienced symptoms, including fever and chest tightness. He said it remained unclear whether he would be able to play in Orlando, where 22 teams will be based for the remainder of the season. And that's it. So in the newsroom at this time, many thanks for watching.